Good morning, Judge.
My lady.
Good morning, my lady.
Good morning, Ms. Nube.
Morning, my lady.
I hear from Leliswe that there is some predicament revolving around the issue of an interpreter. Apparently, that interpreter is on leave today, but we are trying to get another interpreter. Leliswe, are you there?
Yes, Judge, I'm here.
Okay. In the meantime, I'm going to request that the witness can just step aside. I just want us to discuss those issues in the meantime regarding how we're going to proceed when the other witnesses will be testifying while we're waiting for an interpreter. As soon as we get an interpreter, we'll continue.
Judge, should I stop the recording as well?
Yes, that's
All right.
what I'm
Okay,
requesting.
Judge.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Judge.
Yes.
The purpose of our the letter that came from our instructing attorneys was to try to put some structure in place towards the end of this inquest, so that the three witnesses that you've named would be heard at a time that was predictable, and that we could ensure that the right legal practitioners are available and appearing at that time. And our understanding was, well, our proposal at the time involved the use of the last 3 weeks that this matter is set down. So it would be the week of the 22nd of August for Dr. Manamela, the week of the 5th of September for Dr. Celebano, and the week of the 12th of September for the former MEC, Mahlangu. Now, yes, what we understood from the response that came from my colleague, Mr. Hodes, my learned friend, Mr. Hodes, was that that although he was in fact otherwise engaged on all 3 of those weeks, he held out at least the possibility that he could extract himself from the matters in the week commencing the 5th and the week commencing the 12th. I beg your pardon, the week of the first of the 2 weeks. In other words, the 22nd of
August.
Getting myself mixed up now. Yeah, the 22nd of August and the 5th of September, but the week of the 12th was a difficulty if I have it right. I think Mr. Hodes was going to be on today, or rather, when I say I think, I'm advised that he would be. I don't know whether he is currently available. I don't want to speak for him, but that was my understanding. So part of the purpose of today, my lady, was to take stock on whether those dates work in any event, in the sense that, will we have finished with all the other witnesses? And I don't have a great deal of insight into that. Perhaps Mr. Late would have a better idea there as to. Your ladyship is correct. We're not sitting next week, but we do have the week of the 15th, and then we have the week of the 22nd. So it's essentially a question of whether we can finish the remaining witnesses in the week of the 15th.
Yes.
And whether we could then start with Dr. Manamela on the week of the 22nd.
Correct. Yes. And if you look at that letter of Mr. Hodes, the way I understood it, and that is the reason why I requested that while we are thinking about how we're going to proceed, we should also consider looking at dates for the next term, should we not finish in this term. Because if you look at the letter, his letter, he's having problems with that week of the 12th of September. So, and then if we don't utilize that week, then it means we're going to get into the next term.
Yes.
Yes, but let's hear first from Mr. Late.
Yes.
Am I correct to be saying that after this witness, we'll be having only Mrs. Nyatlo?
Mrs. Nyatlo will testify from the 15th, my lady. And that's last witness. Yeah,
yes.
She will definitely finish within that week.
Okay, all right. So there is an assurance that we will continue on the dates that were proposed, the 22nd of August, and then the 5th of the week of the 5th of September.
That's correct, my lady.
Yes. Okay. There you are, Mr. Wardbringer.
Yes, thank you, my lady. So that seems to. Well, I'm assuming for those purposes that my learned friend Mr. Hodes is able to make himself available in those 2 weeks, the week of the 22nd of August and the week of the 5th.
I think that's how. I think he said he was even trying to see to it that he's available. Yeah. He said he had already started. Yes. So I just hope that is good. It will work. Because I don't want us to agree on a date and then we encounter problems. So the further thing that we should look at is the last issue that he raised, to say that he's going to have problems with the week of the 12th of September. Now, if we are not going to utilize that week, what we can do is to agree on the dates for the next term. We should also consider the fact that even if we say we're going to proceed with the 3 from the 22nd of August, right? We don't know as to whether once they start, they will finish during that week, right? So I'm just that is why I'm saying in the meantime, I had thought it's just that, well, we spoke about this, I think, briefly on, was it Monday or Tuesday? So if I think Ms. Hasim and others can assist with that doodle in the meantime, so that when we convene again on a week after next week, we should at least settle the issue of the dates for the next term.
Yes, I hear your ladyship. Thank you.
Yes. Okay. I hope that's the feeling of everyone. Yes, Ms. Hasim.
Good morning, my lady.
Morning.
My understanding from Mr. Hodes's letter was that he's available on the week of the 14th of October. That's what he proposed for his client. So I think the question is whether everybody else is available in that week. Certainly from our side, we've had regard of the letter by Mr. Hodes, and we don't take issue with it. He's explained his predicament, and we'll make ourselves available on the dates that he proposed that he's available. Okay. I just don't know whether the others are available on that week. And then, my lady, if I may add one further thing to the pot, since we're talking about dates, and that is whether it's possible for us to discuss either now or at some point when we should be filing heads of argument.
Yes, that will go hand in hand with the issue of the dates when we discuss those. But it's something that you can start considering in the meantime. Yes. But first of all, isn't it? Yes, that is why I said first of all is to check whether we will indeed finish this matter. But it looks like that we are not going to finish in this term.
Yes.
Yes, but as we discuss all these things and the dates, then one should also think of the dates when heads will be filed.
Yes.
Yes.
And then a date for the oral argument.
Yes, that and a date for the oral arguments. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. I hope you have seen the letter, and I think I agree with what Ms. Hasim has said. I'm going to close the issue and just try to find out where is the interpreter so that we can proceed. I don't want us to keep this witness waiting. Mr. Profi?
Thank you, my lady. My lady, I just wish to place on record in respect of my instruction. I apologize if my signal goes up and down. The electricity, the load shedding just came back up. Can my lady hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. My lady, in respect, I just want to put on record that I think everybody is aware that the NGOs have really been struggling, that they anticipated the matter to be 2 or 3 terms, and now we're sitting on a multiple number of terms. That I just want to make the court aware that in terms of the next term, I wanted to avoid a situation where all 3 NGOs say we're unable to carry the financial weight, and then before argument, there is nobody to argue the matter for them. That for everybody to just be aware that the NGOs are indeed struggling, and that another term becomes incredibly difficult.
But we're heading towards the end. We are trying to assist each other so that we can finalize this matter. Isn't it? That is what we agreed upon.
Correct, my lady. I just want to say that the sooner the better.
Yes, that's Mr. Pichela.
Thank you and morning, my lady. I missed the part because I was having an issue with load shedding. Are we sitting on the week of the 15th? That whole week? I think
we are sitting that week. We will be hearing the evidence of Mrs. Natl. We want to finish with your client today. Then from there, we'll be sitting. Next week, we're not sitting. We're sitting from the 15th up until the end, but it will depend as to whether we finish those 2. And then the problem that we had, you saw the letter of Mr. Hodes regarding his client. So he said he is available on the 14th of October. So we'll discuss that. But as of now, we want to finish everything in this term and then say for the evidence of his client.
Thank you, my lady.
Yes, thank you. I'm going to close this matter so that we shouldn't be wasting time. I want to check what is happening, what are the arrangements regarding the interpreter. The meeting is ended. Thank you very much. Nelisiwe, where are you?
Judge, I'm here. I'm with the interpreter.
Okay, can he show his face?
Thank you.
Okay, good morning.
Morning, Judge.
Your surname?
Jonase.
Jonase.
Yes, Judge.
Okay, all right. Nelisiwe, can you please start the recording?
Thank you, Judge. Today is the 5th of August 2022, calling the matter of Life Esidimeni Inquest, case number I-001 of 2021. Thank you, Judge.
Thank you. Mr. Jonase, just put your full names on record.
Aubrey Odwa. It's Jonase with an E at the end.
Yes.
Jonase.
And your first name is?
Aubrey Odwa.
Okay, okay. Are you a sworn interpreter?
Yes, I am, Judge.
Okay. Do you swear that you will interpret these proceedings to the best of your ability You will interpret the language from English to Zulu and Zulu to English.
Yes, I do, Judge.
Thank you very much. The witness is here. Ms. Ncube, you are reminded that you are still under oath.
Ms. Ngobukutu Sepans Kwesifungo.
Yeah.
Understood, my lady.
Mr. Pihlela, over to you. Was it Mr. Pihlela? No, it wasn't Mr. Pihlela, I think. That was Ms. Bandelender has just finished his her cross-examination. I see there is a hand. Ms. Asim?
My lady, I wasn't sure if there was someone else who still wants to cross-examine, and I just wanted to raise a question before we close cross-examination.
Yes.
And that's in relation to what my learned friend, Mr. Pienaar, said yesterday when he declined to cross-examine. And it's really a question of clarity. What I understood Mr. Pienaar to say is that in the light of concessions that had been made by the parties, he had no questions for the witness. But I didn't quite understand what he meant by that and what concessions he was referring to.
Can the witness step aside for now while we discuss this? Yes.
So my lady, really my request is if we could get some clarity from my learned friend, Mr. Pienaar, about what he meant in relation to those concessions. It's just because I'm not aware of anything and I don't want to be seen to be acquiescing in something that I'm not aware of.
Mr. Pienaar?
May it please the court, my lady, with all due respect to my learned friend, this is an issue which will be dealt with when argument is presented to the court at the conclusion of the inquest, and it refers to the cross-examination that was conducted when Ms. Jacobus was called as a witness, presented her evidence and was cross-examined. And it's in the light thereof, the nature of the cross-examination that was conducted and the answers that were elicited in response from Ms. Jacobus, which was then in no manner further
Is there something wrong with Mr. Pienaar's recording?
It's frozen.
Yes,
it's frozen, my lady.
It looks like it is. Can any one of you alert him?
May it please you, my lady.
Yes, Mr.
I was able to get hold of Mr. Pienaar. Load shedding is again the culprit, it would appear. He's trying to reconnect and he will join as soon as he is able to.
Perhaps we must just, we can just take a short adjournment, and then as soon as he appears on the screen, we will all proceed.
I'll convey that to you, my lady.
Okay. Thank you very much.
The adjournment will be, I don't want to leave in.
May it please the court, my lady. Sorry for the interruption.
Yes. I hope, yes, you may proceed.
My lady, in conclusion, my submission would be that this is a matter to be dealt with, and it will be dealt with when argument is presented to this Honourable Inquest Court at the conclusion of the proceedings.
Thank you.
May it please the court, my lady.
Yes, Mr. Hassim.
Thank you, my lady. I think I understand my learned friend now. It was just the word concessions that I was concerned about. But if that's not the issue, then we don't need to go any further.
Okay, thank you very much. Had I asked everyone regarding the cross-examination before I go to Mr. Pichela, or have Ms. Mahite, I see you are here.
Yes, I am, a lady. I had previously requested that my cross-examination stand over.
Yes, thank you. Now that, yes. But before I do that, yes, I think you can proceed if you still have.
May it please you, my lady. Well, my lady, in accordance to our practice, I think it's important that I just notify your ladyship the reasons and the background to my cross-examination. Your ladyship would recall that Dr. Linkwane had been previously mentioned in GG1, being the affidavit deposed to by the witness regarding the coercion of taking patients that she was not supposed to take. So my cross-examination will be strictly limited to that end, my lady, if I may proceed.
Yes, you may proceed then.
Good morning, Ms. Ngube.
Good morning, Counsel.
I'm Lerato Maite. I am representing Dr. Sophie Linkwane in the proceedings. May I proceed? I thought it was going to be translated, no?
Okay. My apologies, because she just responded in English. My apologies.
Yes, you just said. All right. I don't know. She must indicate to us. Do you want him to interpret now? Okay.
Only when it's like questions where I need to answer so I can get a clarification.
All right. Not you may proceed then. Okay.
Well, Ms. Ngube, based on the affidavit that you deposed to, that you've been previously referred to, GG1, you had indicated that on the 23rd of June, when you were at Randfontein, right, there were a certain number of people. If you were called by Ms. Salome to come fetch the patients, am I correct? And am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And having read your entire affidavit, it appears that during the entire process, your points of contacts were Ms. Salome, Mr. Mohale, as well as Dr. Manamela. Am I correct?
Yes, Counsel.
Now, with that being in the back of your mind, you indicate in your affidavit that on the 23rd of June, you met Dr. Sophie Linkwane. Correct? I can refer you to, yes. So that was the first time you met Dr. Linkwane. You've had no other interactions with her. Am I correct?
Yes, Counsel.
In your evidence on Tuesday, when you were cross-examined by Ms. Raja Badlender, you indicated that there was an issue. You were uncomfortable with saying that you were coerced to take the people. Perhaps coercion is not the right word to use. You said that maybe based on the historical relationship that you had with the Department of Health, you felt you could trust the Department of Health in taking the users. Do you recall that evidence?
Yes, Counsel.
When further asked by Ms. Raja Badlender, you indicated that it was Dr. Manamela who in fact said to you that you should take the adult patients and the users will rather be swapped out with the children at a later stage. Am I correct?
Yes, Counsel.
Now, based on this information, right, you would have to agree that Dr. Linkwane was then not the person who coerced and or forced you into taking adult users as opposed to children users. Would I be correct in saying that?
On that day, I'm supposed to answer yes or no, right?
Yes.
That would be preferable, yes.
I would say yes.
She was not the one.
She was not the one that
Coerced you and or forced you to take adult users.
she backed up the statement by saying she is allocated as the support for our NGO. That's why I also gained more trust and said, okay, she confirmed as well that uzabe abe support for our NGO.
Interpreter?
That should be the support for our NGO.
Thank you.
Just hold it there. So what is the answer? Did she also coerce you or force you to take adult users as opposed to?
She motivated in a way, my lady, because
so she was
it her
supporting
work.
the situation.
Yes.
Continue.
Ms. Ncube, I will be arguing at the end that based on this very crucial information, which was never put by your legal representative to Dr. Lenkwani, and based on the evidence that you have provided, to the oral evidence that you have provided, confirming that the first time you met Dr. Lenkwani was on the 23rd of June, that it would be improbable for her to have indicated to you that you must take the users that are adults. I will argue, that will be my argument at the end. Do you have any comments to that?
No comment.
And that will be the end of my cross-examination. Thank you, Ms. Ncube.
Oh, thank you. Mr. I think I just noticed Mr. Pihlela.
My lady, the ship has sailed since the witness has answered.
Okay. I see there was also a hand by Mr. Sibara.
Yes, thank you, my lady. I don't know whether this is the opportune time to raise this. I know we have recorded that we don't have questions, my lady. There's something which I just wanted to clarify with the witness, with the leave of the court, my lady. This issue of coercing and force only, on that score only. It just came up now from my late colleague, Advocate Maite's cross-examination.
Just before I grant you this opportunity, I just want to check.
Thank you.
Did I miss any other person? Because from Mr. Sibara, I'm going to go straight to Mr. Pihlela to wrap up his sort of cross-examination, re-examination. Thank you, Ms. Maite. You can just move away from the camera. I think you're done.
I'm on screen in order to address what Mr. Sibara had just indicated. The issue of coercion is not raised by myself. It was the witness who made that evidence on Tuesday already during cross-examination by Ms. Badenda.
Yes, the court is well aware of what is on record. Mr. Pihlela?
Well, I think...
Can the witness step aside, please?
I think we shouldn't be using that word coercion because the witness herself has already indicated she would not use that word. But it seems like we're fixating on it. Because she said it wasn't.
Didn't it come from her evidence?
It came from the affidavit, my lady, where when we took her through that, she indicated it. I wouldn't call it coercion, but
okay,
it was.
It's fine. Let the witness answer for it. It's okay. We'll give her the opportunity to explain herself. Mr. Sibara?
Thank you, my lady. I'm here.
Yes, you wanted to take this issue?
Yes, I wanted to take that issue, my lady.
Can the witness come back? Before we do, you proceed, I'm going to ask the witness to be clear. The interpreter is here. Would you like to use her? Would you like to use him? Yes, let him proceed so that you can be able to concentrate properly. Thank you. Mr. Sibara?
Thank you. Good morning, Ms. Ncube.
Morning, Advocate.
I'm good. I represent Dr. Manamela in these proceedings. There's one aspect which I want to clear with you with regard to the issue of adult patients and children patients, and whether you were coerced.
Can you give the interpreter the chance to interpret?
Oh, thank you, madam.
Abengifuna ke ukuthi ngikudingide nawe ilo daba ke labagulayo noma ke ama-patient abantu abadala futhi nala ayingane. Okay, can proceed,
Yes,
sir?
proceed.
Thank you. You testified that Dr. Manamela asked you to take adult patients, which will then be swapped with the children patients. Is that correct?
Ufakazile-ke wathi udokotela uManamela wathi kuwena-ke uthathe abagulayo laba abantu abadala behlanganiswa-ke nalaba abancane. Ingaba kunjalo?
Yeah, Baba.
That's correct.
She requested you, and you were comfortable with taking adult patients because you were told that they are going to be swapped with children. Is that correct?
Wasekucela-ke futhi-ke wathi-ke awuzibona nkinga-ke ukuthi uhambise-ke laba abadala bazothi-ke bese beshintshwa nalaba abancane.
Yeah.
That's correct.
Ms. Ncube, the tone of the evidence so far in this aspect, it has been hammered time and again during cross-examination that you were forced, you were coerced. Can you assist this court now and put it clear what happened?
Kubufakazi-ke osebulalelwe-ke kule nkantolo kugxilwe-ke noma kulokhu ukuthi-ke waphoqwa. Awukuchazele-ke le nkundla yakhe noma-ke ucacise-ke uchaze kabanzi-ke lokhu ukuthi waphoqwa yini.
Njengoba bengishile ngathi angeke ngithi ngaphoqwa ngoba abantu bengisebenze nabo iminyaka.
Just hold it there.
As I've already said, that I wouldn't say that I was forced or I was coerced because it was people that I had worked with for years.
To borrow from your answer, the wording that you were forced to take patients, which is captured in your statement, it is therefore not correct. Is that correct?
Uma-ke singathatha kwistatimende sakho-ke kusetshenziswe leli gama-ke lethi waphoqwa. Uma sesilalela-ke impendulo oqeda unikeza ngayo-ke ukuthi akusilona-ke igama noma kusetshenziswanga igama elifanele uma kuthiwa kwistatimende waphoqwa uphoqelekile.
Yebo, ngoba bengingalizwisisi ngeke ngabuza naye u-advocate Phihlela ukuthi lisho ukuthini, ngasho ukuthi cha akusinto engichazile ngako.
Yes, because
umuntu ebebhala uye olibumbile laba kanjalo.
Yes, because I did not quite understand it, and I inquired from Mr. Phihlela about as to what the word exactly means. So the person who was writing is the one who came up with the word.
And will I be correct that the discussions between yourself, Dr. Manamela, and the members of the mental health care department of Gauteng, it was to find a solution with the adults so that you can take the adults, the minors or the children will come later. Is that correct?
Ingabe-ke ukuhlangana-ke noma-ke ukudingida lokhu nani kudingida kwakukhona phakathi kwakho uDr. Manamela kanye futhi-ke namalunga-ke eGauteng Department of Health kwakuwukuthi-ke nithole-ke isixazululo-ke mayela nabantu nama-patient la abantu abadala sekhulile kanye nalabo futhi ekuwabantwana.
Yebo, kukanjalo yingakho bebasho ukuthi ngoba thina besisebenza nabo iminyaka and siyazi indlela ekumele izinto zihambe ngakho.
That is correct. That was indeed like that because they were saying, or they had said that we had worked with them for years and we were also aware as to how things are supposed to be done.
And I can borrow from your answer now that you were not coerced and you were never forced. It was a discussion leading to assist the department as well yourself running your NGO. Is that correct?
Ngithatha ke kwimpendulo oqeda unikeza ngayo ke ukuthi empeleni ke wawungaphoqiwe ke kodwa ke isinqumo nje esathathwa nkathi ke senihlangene ukuthi ke nisize i-department niyisize nina ke i-NGO le oyisebenzelayo.
Ungaphinda futhi kancane baba.
Ngizothatha ke noma uthi ke advocate usethatha ke kwimpendulo le oqeda unikeza ngayo ke ukuthi wawungaphoqiwe ke kodwa ke ukuthi ke konke lokhu kwaxoxwa na kwase kuthathwa ke isinqumo emuva kokuthi senilidingidile lo daba.
Yebo, bekuyindaba yokusiza i-department.
Yes, it was about assisting the department.
My lady, I'm indebted to the court for the opportunity. I have no further questions.
Thank you very much. Just before I give Mr. Pihlela the chance, I just want to find out, Ms. Beauty Kekana, is she there? Take it that she's not there. Ms. Veselo, Mr. Veselo?
I'm here, Your Honor.
Any questions to the witness in cross-examination?
No questions, my lady.
Thank you.
Judge, I spoke to Mrs. Kekana yesterday. She informed me that she does not have questions for the witness.
Thank you, Nisi. Did I leave anyone else out? Yes, Mr. Pihlela?
Thank you, my lady.
I
Good
think
morning.
it's our turn. I don't know, did I check with Mr. Profi? Mr. Profi, are you there?
I'm here, my lady.
Do you have questions to the witness?
I had my turn yesterday, my lady. I'm indebted to the court.
Okay, thank you. Bless me. Okay. You may proceed, Mr. Pihlela.
Thank you, my lady. Ms. Ncube, I think there is an issue that needs to be clarified. I'm gonna refer you to page 36609.
Ngicabanga ukuthi ke lana Msinqube kunodaba ke kufanele nje ukuthi lixazululeke ngizorefera ke noma ngizokhombisa ke ku page 369. Did I get it correct? 369.
36609. What is the page number, Mr. Pihlela?
36609, my lady.
Uzwile Miss 36609.
Yeah, Baba.
This is a statement by Miss Hannah Hendrika Jakubas.
Statement ke lesi sky Hannah Jakuba and Hannah Jakuba.
No, it's fine, Mr.
I don't have
Interpreter.
anything in front of me.
Can
No,
somebody
fine.
display that on the screen for him?
My lady, in particular, we are going to paragraph 18.2.
Can somebody assist us?
It's displayed, my lady.
Thank you. Paragraph 18.2, you may proceed.
Ma'am, I'm going to ask you to also go through this statement.
Ngicela ke ukuthi nawe usibheke le statement.
Yeah, Baba.
I'm just going to quote from it. Ms. Jakuba says, I was approached by Anchor House to find out why they received adult patients when they were expecting children.
Uthi lana ke uwana ke kweza kumina ke u-Anchor House befuna ke ukwazi ukuthi kwakungani ukuthi baze bathole abaguli noma abaguli kuwabantu abadala endaweni yokuthi bathole ke izingane noma bona babelindele izingane.
Then she goes on to say, I went to Manamela to find out what was going on.
You can proceed, sir.
I informed Manamela that Anchor House was expecting children and had experience in caring for children, but received adult patients.
Ngase ngiya-ke kuManamela ngifuna ukwazi-ke ukuthi kwenzekani. Ngamtshela-ke uManamela ukuthi u-Anchor House belindele iy'ngane futhi-ke benesipiliyoni sokuthi bona-ke banakekele iy'ngane kodwa bathola-ke abantu abakhulile.
Manamela said to me not to worry, as the placement was only temporary. It was
sorry.
No, it's fine. Go ahead, Mr. Interpreter.
Wasethi-ke uManamela kumina-ke akunankinga-ke ngingayihluphi ngalokho ngoba nje kwakuyinto nje yesikhashana le.
And it was a measure to get the life Esidimeni facilities empty.
Kwakuyindlela-ke yokuthi-ke indawo leyana-ke noma ama-facility ase-life Esidimeni ukuthi-ke bekwenziwe nje isiqinisekiso ukuthi-ke akunalutho khona noma-ke empty.
Once everything was done and all patients were transferred from life Esidimeni facilities.
Yes, you can proceed.
The patients will be relocated to suitable NGOs.
Wasethi-ke uzothi-ke uma ngabe-ke konke seqediwe-ke futhi onke zonke-ke iy'guli sey'hanjisiwe-ke ukusuka lapho e-life Esidimeni zizothi-ke iy'guli-ke zihanjiswe zisiwe kuma-NGOs afanele.
That is the message that I gave back to Anchor House.
Umlayezo-ke lowo engawuthola noma umyalezo-ke lowo engawundlulisela kuyona i-Anchor House.
Manamela also spoke to the NGO, and that is how the NGO accepted to look after the adult mental health care users.
uManamela naye-ke wasekhulumisana-ke nayo i-NGO futhi-ke i-NGO yamukela kanjalo-ke ukuthi-ke izobheka-ke izobheka labo-ke kwabantu abadala noma sebekhulile.
It was thus a temporary arrangement to get everyone moved from life Esidimeni facilities.
Bekuyindlela-ke njena yokuthi noma-ke amalungiselo nje esikhashana-ke ukuthi nje kukhishwe bonke noma bahanjiswe abantu laphayana kuleya ndawo yase-life Esidimeni.
And from your testimony, is this what you were describing to the court as what convinced you to also take this mental health care users at the time?
Ingaba-ke lokhu ikona-ke okwabangela noma kwaba yimbangela-ke kubufakazi bakho bubushilo-ke ukuthi uthathe-ke kuthathwe-ke iguli lezi-ke kuthathwe iguli uma ubheka lokhu oqeda ufundwa la.
Ngamashiba.
Exactly.
I want us to look at paragraph 18.1. Now, if you look at line number 4, starting with line number 3, it says Precious Angels was going to take in children and thus prepared the NGO to accommodate children and not adult patients.
Masubheka-ke lo muqa-ke la ku-18.1 ukuthi-ke uPrecious Angel wayezothatha-ke iy'ngane ngakho-ke amalungiselelo enziwa-ke noma i-NGO yalungiselelwa-ke ukuthi yona-ke ithathe noma ithole iy'ngane hhayi abantu asebekhulile noma abadala.
Goes on to say Ethel Ncube was under the impression from the beginning of the project that she would receive child patients at Precious Angels.
Isiqhubeka-ke ithi u-Ethel Ncube yena-ke wayecabanga-ke noma wayazi-ke ukuthi kwaseqaleni yena-ke uzothola iy'ngane.
Would you say that what is stated in this statement insofar as it refers to you is correct and is accurate, ma'am.
Ungathi ke lokhu okubhaliwe lana ke futhi ke kubhekisa kuwena ke ukuthi kunjalo noma kuyiqiniso.
Namashiba.
Precisely.
Thank you, Ms. Mnguni. One thing that emerged during cross-examination was a blurring of your role during the marathon project. I want you to explain to this court by answering these simple questions, Ms. Mnguni. Your role at Precious Angels was that of a director, correct?
Precious Angel, wena ke okwakho ukuthi kwake wawuyi-director khona.
Namashiba.
Yes.
Did you have a board of directors?
Ngaba yayikhona ke i-board yama-director.
Namashi angeke i-NPO bakunikeze yona unganawo ama-directors.
You won't be given an NPO if you don't have a board of directors, if you don't have directors.
The question is, just a second, Mr. Pihlela, the question is, did you have a board of directors? Yes or no?
Well, now again, we're not a board of directors. Yes.
Continue.
Now, there were various people that were involved in the running of your organization being Precious Angels, correct?
Kwakunabantu abaningi ke ababekhona ke thini ke i-Precious Angel lena ke iqhubekeke ngaba kunjalo noma isebenze. That's correct.
And decisions that were being taken that affected Precious Angels were being taken by this board of directors, correct?
Futhi ke neyinqumo ke ezayithathwa khona lapho ke mayelana i-Precious Angel zayithathwa khona lapho kule board of directors. That's correct.
Now, Ms. Ngube, you testified that part of the reasons you agreed to take on these patients was because of the promises that were made to you, as well as the relationship that existed between you and the Gauteng Department of Health. Am I correct?
Ufakazileke wathi ke imbangela ke yokuthi uthathe noma ke uvume ke kulokhu noma ke uthathe futhi kule igulu ukuthi ke ithembiso ezenziwa kuwena kanye futhi nobudlelwane babukhona ke phakathi kwakho kanye nayo ke i-Department of Health yase-Gauteng.
Namashiba.
Exactly.
Now, were these promises fulfilled, Ms. Ngube?
Ingaba zenziwa ke yini le ithembiso? No.
Now, in the absence of these promises and the fact that you trusted the Department of Health, would you still have taken over the running? Would you still have agreed to take on these patients?
In the absence of the promise and the second part, sorry?
And the relationship that she had.
Thank you. Zingekho ke ithembiso lezi kanye futhi ke nobudlelwane ke owawunabo ke kanye nayo ke i-Department of Health yase-Gauteng wawuzoqhubeka ke yini ukuthi uwathathe ama-patients la? No.
Ms. Ngube, I'm going to take you to page 25383.
Page 25383, Ms. Ngube.
Yeah.
This is an extract from a transcript during the cross-examination of Dr. Talatala. I think his testimony during the arbitration. You were referred to this Dr. Talatala extensively during the cross-examination by Ms. Raja Batlender.
Ms. Batlender ke umekubuza ke imibuzo ebekubuza ke ngayo ke udokotela lona ke uTalatala. I'm listening.
Now, this is an interaction, and what can be gleaned from it. Dr. Talatala proposes or ventures an opinion, or what one might call a theory, that this project in essence was designed to fail.
Akuvezayo ke lana udokotela uTalatala ke noma uvo ke aza nalo ke ukuthi ke la project ke ngahlobo noma ngendlela ke kwenzeka ngakhona ke ukuthi babenza nje ukuthi ingabi nampumelelo. I'm listening.
And he says that there were already plans to build an additional 900 beds.
Uyaqhubeka ke athi kwaseyikhona ke inhlelo zokuthi ke kube khona eminye ke imibhede ewu900
in Sterkfontein, Westkoppies and Tara Hospital.
eSterkfontein, eWestkoppies kanye nesibhedlela iTara.
And the whole idea, because at the time there was deinstitutionalization, it would have been easier to circumvent this process by building those 3 additional beds, 900 additional beds.
Akushoyo ke futhi ukuthi ke uma sewubheka khona lokho ukuthi ke kwakuzoba lula ke noma kwakuyinto ezoba lula ke ukuthi kwengezwe ke lemibhede lena ewu900.
Ngezwe.
I'm listening.
Now, how do you feel about this knowledge, knowing that you were basically placed in a situation where you were set up to fail?
Just the last part, Mr. Pichel.
You were placed in a situation.
How does she feel if?
Knowing that she was placed in a situation where she was being set up to fail, essentially.
Lokho ke kwenza ke ukuthi uzwe kanjani ke ukuthi umusu wabekwa ke kwisimo la khona ke kwaziwa ukuthi kufiswa nje noma kufunwa ukuthi ungaphumeleli.
Just hold.
Before the witness can. Oh.
Yes, I've already noted, Mr. Pienaar. The witness can just maybe step aside. Mr. Pienaar, proceed.
May it please the court, my lady, with all due respect to my learned friend, what is the relevance of this evidence? The witness was not a party or involved with any of the negotiations by the Gauteng Department of Health to which Ms. Dr. Talatala had referred or responded by means of a conclusion he had arrived at for the termination of life Esidimeni. But there is no indication that this witness would have been involved with that, would have had knowledge of that, etc., my lady. And the purpose of re-examination, with all due respect, is to clarify issues that have become clouded by the witness. There is no need or requirement for clarification in this regard. And lastly, my lady, my learned friend, with all due respect, is busy with re-examination, and it would be improper to put leading questions to the witness to clarify clouded issues.
Thank you, Mr. Pienaar. Mr. Sibar.
As it pleases the court, my lady, with due respect to Mr. Pichela, he put a question, a supposition that how would you feel that you were put in a situation you were set up to fail? And I don't think, my lady, this witness testified that at the time when she took the patients, she was set up to fail. And once again, my lady, this aspect was never elicited during cross-examination, and I echoed the sentiments of Advocate Pienaar SC. Thank you, my lady.
Thank you, Mr. Late.
My lady, and I also want to add to the lack of relevance the feelings of the witness. That is not relevant to the task that this court has to do at the end of the matter. I think this witness has answered. She has been extensively cross-examined. All the evidence is on record. And at this stage, the questioning by Mr. Procedural is going far beyond re-examination of the witness. I don't think it's necessary for any further movement in this regard, Madam.
Thank you. Mr. Pichela?
Well, just to correct Ms. Noma here, this is not strictly speaking re-examination. Hence, your ladyship was referring to it as cross-examination / re-examination kind of thing, because it's a bit blurred.
But
now,
in any, okay, continue.
Now, my lady, I can understand where the objection is coming from, so I'll rephrase my question.
Yes, but I don't know. I don't think we should even allow you to rephrase the question. It's just exceeding what you are supposed to do. If we look at the issue of relevance and the issues that your learned colleagues have raised, I think they are correct in terms of what they are saying. How do you ask a witness such a question, and how is it going to assist this court? The response thereof.
My lady, I think we should keep to what has been happening, and this will be the argument that I'm going to present, and I want to put that argument to this witness. People who are allowed to put arguments that they are going to venture this and this and that.
You see, Mr. Pichela, your problem every time when people object to what you are trying to do, you keep on referring to other things which are not even related. In this instance, I'm not going to allow this question. You may proceed. Maybe we close the matter like this. Yes.
As the court pleases.
The reasons are on record. Thank you. Proceed.
There's no witness, my lady.
Where is the witness? Thank you, ma'am. Proceed, Mr. Pichela.
Ms. Ngube, forget the last question. I will address that issue in argument.
Yes, okay.
Ms. Ngube, I want us to look at the photos. There is an issue that emerged from the photos and the list. The photos are on from 37536.
Ngizofisa ukuthi sibheke iy'thombe u-37536 khona-ke udaba oluye lavela-ke kuyithombe mayelana ney'thombe kanye nohla.
Yebo baba.
Understood?
And the list is on page 37534.
37534 ilapho-ke ilist noma uhla lukhona.
Yes, baba.
Now, I want to understand something with regard to this list.
Are we starting with the photos or the list?
My lady, we're starting with the list since it precedes the photos. There is 2 columns there. During my evidence in chief, we dealt only with these 2 columns. Now, I want to understand. You are the one who included these 2 columns on this list. Am I correct?
Ngiqinisele yini ukuthi-ke la makholam amabili-ke akhona kule list la wena owawafaka?
Yebo baba.
That's correct.
There is a discrepancy that was identified with regards to the dates on some of the people that are included in this list.
Khona-ke la kuye kwatholakala khona-ke ama-dates ukuthi-ke khona-ke inkinga khona-ke ngama-dates kubanye babantu abafakwa noma abafakiwe kuyona le list.
Yebo baba.
Yes.
For example, if you go to deceased number 10, Kukunene, the evidence that appears seems to indicate that at the time where you included that she undergone OCC OT assessment and the doing of vital signs, it appears that she had already been deceased.
Lana ke okuvelayo ke ukuthi ke yena ke ukukunene ku number 10 ke ukuthi inkathi ke usithi ke akufanele ke ahambe ke lama terms ke abiziwe khona lana ke ukuthi kwatholakala ukuthi ubeseshonile vele.
Yebo baba.
Yes. Are you able to explain how that error might have occurred?
Uyakwazi ke ukuthi uchaze ukuthi lelo phutha lelo lenzeka kanjani.
Yebo baba, ngoba kube yiphutha ukuthi ngi-copy and paste ngithumele konke engikwaziyo ukuthi ama-assessment ayenziwa kuzo zonke izindlu.
It was an error for me to copy and paste and then send, because what I do know is that assessments were done in all the houses.
And nokuthi ama-files wonke akhona naku-record kuwo wonke, ngiyasho nala akhona ukuthi efayilini yomuntu iyakhomba ukuthi ubani wathola i-assessment, ubani ongatholanga. Iphutha libe kimi uma ngifakela kuwo wonke.
Because in the file, there are files and there are also records, and it also indicates as to who received assessment and who didn't. So the error was on my part to insert it on all of them.
Ingakho nayizolo bengithe ku-advocate Battlelander ukuthi ngamane kuvulwe each and individual file eyomuntu kukwazi ukuthikwa ukuthi lo unayo noma akanayo.
Hence, I said yesterday to Advocate Battlelander that we would then have to open each individual's files, and then we are able to tick that this one had an assessment and this one didn't have or get an assessment.
Thank you. Mr. Nuber. The second thing, with regard to the photos and the dates when these photos were taken, I understand you to say that, or maybe I should ask you, have you retained the originals of these photos on your phone?
Ingaba ke efonini yakho ke wayigcina yini ama-originals ale ithombe?
Zikhona ku-USB.
They are there on the USB, yes.
Are you willing to make that USB available should the court require it?
Uma ngabe kungenzeka ke ukuthi inkantolo ifuneke leyo USB leyo ingatholakala.
Ngingayithumela nangoMvulo baba.
I can even send it on Monday.
I also understand that you indicated that there was, when you went under witness protection, some of your records were taken by the SIU and you were given a disk which supposedly contains scanned copies of those records. Is that correct?
Ngizwa ke ukuthi nkathi ke uya ku witness protection amanye ama records akho ke athathwa iyona i-SIU wase unikezwa ke i-disk enawo lama records wakho askeniwe.
Yebo baba.
That's correct.
Do you still have that disk in your possession, ma'am?
Ingaba leyo disk leyo usenayo kuwena?
Yebo baba.
Yes.
Are you willing to make that disk available to this court should this court require it?
Uyimisele ukuthi unganikeza ngayo kule nkantolo uma inkantolo ingafisa ukuthi ibe nayo.
NangoMvulo ngalithumela.
Even I can even send it on Monday.
Thank you, Ms. Ngube. Ms. Ngube, I want us to deal with Mr. Christopher Makoba. There was what I understand is that you received Mr. Makova on the 23rd of June 2016. Am I correct?
uMr Makhoba wamthola yena ke ngeyi-23 zikaJune 2016 ngabe kunjalo.
Yebo.
That's correct.
And if I'm correct, and my records are correct, he passed away on the 3rd of July 2016.
Uma ngabe ke ngiqinisile ke kanye nama-record ami ke qinisile waseshona ke ngeyi-3 zikaJuly 2016.
Mlaleli baba.
I'm listening.
Well, I'm not certain of the date. I'm just trying to access that list by that was compiled by advocate.
Linda,
Yes,
you
my
can
lady.
ask her for the list for the page number.
I'm just gonna quickly
Mr.
jump.
Bundland, Miss Bundlander, can you assist? Is she present today, Miss Asim?
I'm just locating the page reference, my lady.
Okay.
But I can also confirm that the 3rd of July 2016 is the correct date of death.
I think it is the correct date, yes.
And the page is 37521.
Well, thank you. I'm indebted. Yes.
37521.
Yeah, I think it's number 1 on the list.
No, that's fine. Miss Asim, the date is the page number?
It's
37521.
That's correct, my lady.
Yes, continue.
It seems like Mr. Makova was at your NGO for a period of about 10 days by my simple calculations.
Uma ngibala nje ngokushesha ke ukuthi uyena ke uMakhoba wayekhona lapho ku-NGO yenu noma yakho ke amalanga awu-10.
Yes, ngakala baba.
It's understood.
Now, my lady, if your ladyship would bear with me, there was a document that was referred to by Advocate Van Bergen.
You know, you can ask them to assist you if you don't have those page numbers.
I think it was a document that recorded the transfer. It's one of the documents that they use to record the transfer.
Mr. Van Bergen, can you be of assistance?
Thank you, my lady. I'm just having a look. I'm not certain which document
He's talking about.
is.
I think I've written page 2679. I'm just trying to run there to look.
I think it may be 7629. No, it doesn't seem to be the correct.
Oh, no, it's 7630, my lady.
Okay.
It's page 7630.
Yes.
Are we on that page, my lady? Yes.
Yes, I'm on the page.
Ma'am, if you look at this document, there is some information that is missing. On the column that is allocated for weight, there is no weight indicated. Do you see that?
Uma ubheka lana ke ikhona imininingwane engekho ke la kuchazwa khona ke ubunzima bakhe noma iweight yakhe ke kunalutho ebhaliwe lapha uyabona.
Ngiyakubona.
I see that.
And during cross-examination, you were told that this person was very thin or cathartic or some term like that, some fancy medical term. which simply means thin. You were told that, and it was almost attributable to precious angels.
Mankathi ke ubuzwa imibuzo ke khona ke amagama asetshenzisiwe ke nje achaza ukuthi ke wayenomzimba ke nje omncane kakhulu ke futhi kwathiwa lokho ke ukuhlanganiswa ke naye precious angels.
Now I'm gonna ask you this question, and have you had interactions with Mr. Christopher Makoba?
Ngizokubuza ke ngombuzo ukuthi kwakukhona ke okwakuhlanganisa noma kwakwenza ukuthi uhlangane naye uMakhoba. Sorry.
Bengasebenzi ngabo bengidlula ngenza umsebenzi ngibona yonke into ihamba njani cha.
I was not interacting with them. I would just pass by and see how the work was going.
And it was also imputed that you knew some of these mental health care users enough to be able to know what this one likes or what that other one likes, but yet you say that you were not interacting with these people.
Okunye futhi ke kuchaziwe noma kushiwo ke ukuthi ke wawubazi kahle ke labantu wazi ukuthi othize uthandani othize uthandani kodwa ke manje ke uthi wawungasebenzi ngabo noma unga interact nabo.
Can you clarify that for the court, just so we know how you would be able to know that this particular mental health care user likes this or this other one likes that and so on?
Ungachaza ke ukuthi kwenzeka kanjani ke ukuthi wazi ke ukuthi lo uthandani lo akathandini.
Okay, ngoba abasebenzi yibo bebaphila nabo every day, yibo bebachaza ukuthi othize ipersonality yakhe inje nakanje, kwakulula ukukhumbula ngalabo abapopular.
Because the people that they're working with them would then, or they worked with them, they lived with them, or the staff lived with them and they worked with them. So they would also then tell this one likes this or this one is this. So it was easy to remember about those with regards to those that were popular.
Ngisho nabo ama-officials wakwa Department of Health noma bezile bebasho uphuzi bani ngoba bamazi ngepopularity yakhe.
Even the officials from the Department of Health would inquire, where is so and so, because they would know that person based on his or her popularity.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mlube. I want us to look at Mr. Terence Chaba.
Terence Chaba.
Yeah.
Now, I understand that Mr. Chaba was admitted to hospital on the 8th. of July, if I'm not mistaken.
Mangenzi iphutha ke umnumzana uChaba wangena ke esibhedlela yena ke nge-8 zika July.
Please check that page that I can't remember whether that was the 8th of July or 8th of August.
I've gone to the page, my lady.
Miss Asim, can you assist?
Yeah, it's
Is the 8th of?
It should be the 8th of July, my lady.
My lady, it's the 8th of August.
Yes, that is my recollection, correct?
Oh,
Thank
8th
you.
of August. Oh yeah, 808. Now, you collected Mr. Chaba on the 23rd of June, is that correct?
Kwakungeyi-23 zika-June ilanga-ke amlanda ngalo umnumzana uChaba ngaba kunjalo.
Yebo baba.
Yes.
He was basically amongst the patients that you collected from. Is it Waverley or Randfontein or Rand West?
Kwakuwomunye walaba owabalande Waverley eRandfontein noma eRand West.
Yebo baba.
Yes.
Now, Mr. Chaba, we are told he died from bronchopneumonia.
Chazelwa-ke ukuthi imbangela yokushona kwakhe kwakuyi-bronchopneumonia.
And he was in hospital from the 8th of August until he passed on the 15th of August.
Wayesesibhedlele-ke kusukela ngeyi-8 zika-August kwaze kwayilanga ashona ngalo ilanga langeyi-15 zika-August.
Yebo baba.
Yes.
Now, I understand that he had seizures and you called an ambulance and the ambulance never came. Am I correct?
Ngizwa-ke ukuthi kwayenako-ke uqhuzu lakhe futhi-ke wasibiza-ke ne-ambulance kodwa ayizange ifike i-ambulance.
Yebo baba.
Yes.
And you then had to use your own private motor vehicle to transport him to the hospital.
Lokho kwabangela-ke noma kwaphoqa-ke ukuthi usebenzise eyakho imoto ukuthi umhambise umise esibhedlela.
Or maybe
Yes.
Okay. And at the hospital, you are the one who completed his admission forms or gave the hospital his admission information.
Futhi-ke esibhedlele-ke kwaba uwena-ke umuntu osegcwalisa-ke iform leyana la khona-ke bemamukela khona i-admission yakhe.
Okuningi begcwaliswa information begcwaliswa i-caregiver ngoba bebasebenza ngabo mara nami bengiphila ngikhona kubo konke.
The majority of the information or most of the information was provided by the caregiver because they are the ones who spend more time with them, but I would also be around or be there.
Okay. Now, it was said that during cross-examination, it was put to you that according to Dr. Talatala, if the hospital had his medical records and so on, perhaps he would have still been alive.
Imibuzo-ke oyibuziwe-ke bashilo-ke ukuthi udokotela uTalatala uthe uma ngabe isibhedlele-ke besinayo-ke imininingwane yakhe-ke mhlasimpe ngabe usaphila.
Selungaphenduli ngoba umbono wakhe.
Sorry, awuphinde sis.
Ngicela ukungaphenduli ngoba kusho yena.
Okay. Oh, okay, sorry. I would like not to respond because that's his view.
Exactly. And now, during my argument, I'm going to present evidence to this court to show that I will be making submissions to show that had the hospital required or had they looked out from a sample, we learned during the clinician's evidence that the bronchopneumonia might have occurred because of aspiration, while Mr. Chaba was having a seizure.
Sizwile-ke kubufakazi bayo-ke eclinician ukuthi kungenzeka-ke ukuthi i-bronchopneumonia leyo-ke yenzeke nkathi esethola-ke lokhu kuqhuzula ngaba-ke ukubangela ukuthi-ke nkathi-ke ethola lokhu kuqhuzula ukuthi-ke leyo broncho uyithole ngaleso sikhathi leso.
And that the,
I wouldn't
and
know.
that
I wouldn't know about that.
and that the hospital was aware that he had a seizure that morning. It was reported to the hospital that he had a seizure that morning.
Futhi ke isibhedlela sasazi-ke ngoba-ke yinto esayichazelwa isibhedlela ngalelo langa lelo ukuthi-ke kwawumuntu owathola-ke ukuxhuzula.
There is a hand, my lady.
Yes, Mr. Late.
Thank you, my lady. I don't want to unnecessarily break into the cross-examination of Mr.
Can the
Pretoria.
witness step aside, please?
No, it's not necessary, my lady.
No, but it's fine. Let her step aside when we discuss these things. That is. Yes, continue.
It says the witness is emotional again, and I don't know how long Mr. Pretoria is still going to take, but I see it's already 22:12. And the witness has been in the witness box now for a long time and might need a little rest. But if Mr. Pretoria is going to wrap up within the next 2 or 3 minutes, I think we can continue. Otherwise, I would suggest that we take a 15-minute break.
Yes, I just didn't want to interrupt him because I thought he was just wrapping up. But can we find out from you, Mr. Pihlele, how far
my
you
lady,
want
I was wrapping up.
But we don't want to keep the witness for a very long time. Otherwise, we must just take the tea adjournment. But I'm looking at my this time. It's now 11:37.
My lady, I think we should take the tea adjournment then. I see also she's starting to get emotional.
Yes, because of, I mean, sometimes it is also affected by this. It comes because of the questions that you're asking here.
My lady, I think it's the trauma that was elicited.
No, it's fine. I don't think we were going to be long, even after the tea break. Can the witness come back? Is it a problem if we take? I see it's 11:38. Can we resume at 11:40? This is almost 11:40. Can we resume at? It's now. I wanted us to take a 10-minute break, but we can take a 15-minute break. That's fine. Yes, Mr. Interpreter, you can warn the witness.
Okuzokwenzeka-ke ukuthi sizothatha nje imizuzu ewu-15-ke i-tea break sizobuya-ke emva kwemizuzu ewu-15.
We will then resume at 5 to 12.
Sizobuya-ke ngo-5 to 12. Understood.
Thank you. Court agents.
May it please the court, my lady.
Yes, the witness is reminded that she's still under oath. Where is the interpreter?
Siseke usuyakhunjuzwa-ke ukuthi usephansi kwesifungo.
Yebo.
Understood,
Continue.
my lady.
My lady, just for the benefit of the court, the admission form is on page 2856. That records the date of the 8th of August.
Page?
2856.
Okay. That records the date of his admission at the hospital.
That is correct, my lady.
Okay.
I wish to refer the witness to page 2859.
2859 ke sisi page ocela uyibheke.
Yebo baba.
Understood?
Now, it was put to you during your cross-examination that Dr. Talatala said it appeared that the hospital did not know what this person's history was and so on and so forth. And that is, it looks as though the hospital was just going up and down trying to establish that information. But when I look at this document from Pretoria West Hospital Casualty Department, it says there that if you look, there is a column or a section dealing with chronic or home treatment. And what is listed there is epilepsy on epilim. Do you see that, man?
Khona ke bekubuzwa ngakho ke nkathi ububuza imibuzo ke ukuthi ke noma kusho yena ke uDr uTalatala ukuthi ke isibhedlela sasingazi ukuthi kwakuyini ke inkinga yakhe ke uChaba lona ke kodwa uma ubheka lana ke khona la kubhalwe khona ke chronic or home treatment kubhalwe khona ke epilepsy noma on EPIM. Uyabona?
Yebo baba ngiyabona.
Yes, I can see it.
And where it says present complaint and history, it says that nurse verbalized that patient had seizure this morning and they gave him medication and he stabled or he started again this afternoon.
Bese kubhalwa ke la khona ke kuchazwa ke ukuthi unesi washo ke ukuthi ke isiguli lesi ke besi nako ke uqhuzula ke ekseni babe sebemnikeza ke imithi ke uphindile futhi ke emini.
Yebo kezwakala.
Understood?
There is also a section there where there is time, vital signs, blood pressure, pulse, temperature, respiration, stats. And then on the column dealing with weight, it says that this weight was not taken because unable to stand.
La chazwa khona ke yonke imininingwane isikhathi ke i-blood pressure, ama-pulse akhe kanye konke nje kubese la kufika khona ke kwi-weight yakhe ke kwathiwa ke akukhonakalanga ukuthi itholakale ngoba ebengakhoni ukuthi eme.
Okay, kezwakala.
Understood?
And even if you turn to the next page, 2860, there are notes.
2860 kunama notes akhona ke.
Nursing notes that describe that at 1640, a 28-year-old male patient brought in casualty on a wheelchair, accompanied by a nurse. Patient is awake, not responding, breathing well on room air. Nurse verbalized patient had seizures this morning. They gave him medication and he started again this afternoon. Vital data taken and recorded.
Kunalama notes ke abhaliwe ukuthi neminyaka u28 walethwa ke ehamba nge-wheelchair elethwa unesi futhi ke patient leyo ke yayihlezi noma yayiphapheme kodwa ke ingarespondi ephefumula ke futhi unesi washo ukuthi ke ebenako ke uqhuzulo benako ekseni base bemnikeza ke medication noma imithi waphinda waqala futhi emini. Yes.
Now we are going to argue that this information is sufficient to alert the hospital of his treatment and also of his condition.
Sothi-ke uma segcineni-ke sesikhipha-ke izethulo enkantolo sichazele-ke inkantolo ukuthi le mininingwane imininingwane eyanele ukwazisa isibhedlele ngesimo sakhe. Understood?
Now I'm going to refer you to page 2867.
Just a second, Mr. I'm sorry, I said please indicate to me because sometimes I'm taking notes. Mr. Late?
Yes, my lady, I don't know where Mr. Pienaar is going with this kind of cross-examination. This witness is not the author of these notes and so forth, and it's not for her necessary to comment on what Mr. Pienaar is going to argue at the end of the matter. I think Mr. Pienaar should really now wrap up his cross-examination, because this is not an examination or cross-examination or re-examination. It's things are put to the witness that she can't really answer to as a court.
She's not even answering. She's just saying, I see. If it's a matter of argument, why don't he just present his argument at the end?
That's right.
Then we can save this time. Mr. Pienaar, please.
Yes, court pleases, my lady.
It appears it's like you are trying to explain yourself to the witness. I don't understand.
My lady, this emanates from what was put to the witness during cross-examination.
We hear that, but really,
I did indicate to the court that those type of questions were not taking us anywhere. The court allowed those questions, and now I have to respond to them.
But is it how you should respond? Is it how you should respond? The way you are doing it is not proper, Mr. Pienaar. That is why now there is an objection before this court. And that is why this is what Mr. Late is trying to address. If it's a matter of argument, you take it to for argument, isn't it? Mr. Late?
That's exactly what I say, my lady. It's not necessary to put your argument to your own witness.
Yes.
If you want, it's done in a criminal case or maybe a civil case when you cross-examine other witnesses, not your own witness.
Yes.
It's not necessary for you to put your argument to your own witness.
Correct. Thank you. Mr. Pienaar?
Pleases, my lady. As the court pleases. Can
the witness come back? Thank you.
Lastly, I'm going to refer you to a statement by Mr. Nofile. It's on page 7699.
Statement sakhe-ke uNofile 7699.
Yeah, must come.
Paragraph 5.
Paragraph 5.
It speaks specifically about this patient who was refusing to eat and had to be force-fed. Do you see that?
Ekhuluma-ke ngale patient lena-ke eyayingafuni ukudla kwafanele ukuthi iphoqwe ukuthi idle.
Would you know anything about that, Miss?
Is it about Christopher Makgoba?
Yes, my lady.
Just be specific to the witness so that we can save time, Mr. Pienaar.
Is there anything you can say about whether a patient needed to eat or had to be force-fed or anything of that nature?
Khona-ke ufisa ukusho nge-patient-ke eyayingafuni ukuthi idle noma ekwakufanele ukuthi iphoqwe ukuthi idle. There's nothing I know that I can say.
Thank you.
My lady, that concludes my examination.
Thank you very much for availing yourself to testify. Thank you. You are therefore excused, and thank you,
Ngiyakubonga
Mr.
ke inkantolo ukuthi uzile uzonikeza ubufakazi.
Ngiyabonga.
Thank
you,
you very much. You are therefore excused. Yes, Mr. Interpreter, Mr. Jonase, thank you very much for assisting us today.
Thank you, my lady.
Mr. Late, what is the next date? It appears next week we are not sitting.
It's the 15th of August, my lady.
Thank you. This matter is therefore remanded to this 15th of August 2022. That will be for the evidence of Ms. Nyatlo. Am I correct?
As a court, my lady, you're correct, my lady.
Thank you.
May it please the court, my lady.
As your lordship pleases.
May it please the court, my lady.
As the court, please, my lady.